Well, Marco, thank you very much for taking my call today. I have many questions for you this morning. The first one is that one of the very special things that Candelabrum offers, not only to the audience, but also to the bands, is the chance to play a different set from the usual they do live. And I do want to know because you have announced that you're going to perform a special old school set, and I do want to, if you could please share with me how it has been for you to revisit some more obscure cuts from your career.
Yeah, it's we always try to, there's always going to be some obvious songs that we get lynched if we don't play. And but then we do try to combine some deep cuts and some songs we haven't played for ages or actually never played live. So but the cool thing for Candelabrum is that since we never played there, everything are deep cuts since it's the first time. So, but yeah, there's gonna be old school, some new, but yeah, we're gonna dig into the 35-year-old history we have, and there are certain albums that have their anniversaries, and so let's see. It's quite it's gonna be interesting because usually when I talk to people around the world, there's a lot of people that think that Hell is Here is like our debut album, since it was the first album that was released on a big label, and prior to that we did two albums under the name Crown of Thorns. So I mean, those songs are still valid, and yeah, it's gonna be a one sweaty set list.
And I love the answer because you just gave me the cue for the next question. Because yes, last month, your actual debut album, which is The Burning, that released as From the Thorns, just turned 30 years old. And I believe it's a good time to reflect on all those years and all the things you've seen in the metal scene, all the changes since then, and also how much have you changed as an artist since this release?
That's a very interesting question. We could deep dive into it for an hour. It's because yeah, I've been doing this for I mean, I think it's 35 years now, and what is really, really interesting is that I have a son that is 20 years old that has also started this sort of journey. He plays in a band called Sarcator. And so they are like, they have released three albums and they are working on the fourth one now. And that's the interesting thing, because when we discuss what is happening, what they're doing, we're on different planets, how sort of we made PR for our band and how they're doing today. And so this is a very different area. And but how I usually sort of think about stuff, I it might be a bit old school, because I still today think it's important with having the song order correct on the on the CD, on the vinyl. I mean, we pay attention to what's, I mean, nowadays, yeah, it's more Spotify focused, and it doesn't, it's maybe not that important to some people to have the song structure on an album, but for me, being an old fart, it's still interesting, and it means a lot to me, the artwork, and I mean the whole packaging thing. And obviously there's happened shitloads of stuff, how to record stuff and how to promote stuff, but I try to catch on with the Zooms and the Teams and all of that. What is sort of basically is an easier way to like this. I mean, if we would have done this 20 years ago, it would have been pen and paper. So
Totally.
so it's a new way, but I don't think my mindset or in that sense have changed that much. I'm just trying to embrace the new stuff, to be honest. Try to understand it at least. Yeah.
It's very important to assimilate all the new stuff. Other way, you just got stuff left behind.
Yeah, obviously, yeah. And it's also, I mean, I do a lot of studio work for other bands, and I mean, you go back 10 years, whatever, we needed to be in the same room and doing the mixing, but now we're sharing files all around the world, and I do mix work for bands from all over the world. So I mean that kind of stuff. Obviously, it's only positive that it's possible to do it. You know, I'm not that old school that I'm stuck into old habits in that sense. But musically, I think that basically the music that sort of got me hooked up and, you know, straight into my heart was most likely that period when I was between 15 and 25 or something like that. Those bands, albums, whatever, they will always be the most, I mean, the biggest core element of my sort of musical taste. I guess at that age you're very you sort of receive or capture you hear the music a bit differently when you hear it for the first time, you know. I mean, of course, the early Morbid Angels or whatever, I mean, that means the world to me, you know.
Do you remember which one was the first album that got you into extreme music?
I know the first sort of hard rock that got me hooked was Scorpions, and I still today have a sweet spot for Scorpions. But then it was this 89, 90. It was this big explosion when death metal became, I mean, the Swedish scene, the Entombed and all of that, and in parallel there was the Florida scene that was got me so hooked, you know, on the Morbid Angels and basically everything recorded in Morrison studio and stuff like that by Scott Burns. And so it was those early, you know, debut album from Entombed, Altars of Madness, that sort of type of death metal got me really hooked.
Excellent. Well, Marco, I want to move forward because it's like a quick recap of the history of the Crown, and I want to move now to the 2000s because the album Possessed 13 has the whole vibe of an old school horror B movie, from the cover art to some of the themes and the songs. And do you still remember what got you into that direction, that moment?
I think the artwork triggered a lot for us. We got to know these two guys that they presented that artwork for us, and when we sort of said wow when we saw it, it kind of set the tone to it. A lot of the songs were done, but we had the sort of time to mold a lot of things into this horror movie theme in that sense. I mean, I added like an instrumental song called Dream Bloody Hell. It's a bit movie-like, and then we split it up, the songs, in 3 chapters, called it like in theater world. They have this subtitle for the various chapters, and that sort of added to everything. And then it became, you know, regarding graphics, let's do it like in the movies with the, you know, the lineup text, and let's add the return of the crown like a movie. And I mean, those kind of stuff. So because the first version that we ever saw of the artwork was the white version. It was released as a white and a black, and the white is super cool. And I think it was split up, that the white was released it started as a vinyl. The white is only available on vinyl and CD, and the black is only on CD, I think, in the end. But I think the graphics triggered everything there, I think.
Thank you. It was a great story because I love the cover art and I love the whole concept behind it.
Yeah. And also a bit of the old school sound of it, because we were so many albums in, and for that album we really dug out a lot of old songs that never we completed as songs. So we picked a lot of parts from very old songs, and we sort of blended mine and Magnus riffs into and wrote a lot of songs, you know. I mean, like in every song there's at least something good, so we sort of took that from those deleted songs, and that's where you get that old school vibe as well. So it added to it. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Marco, now let's move forward to 2018, because we already mentioned how the Crown has been around for more than 30 years. But when Cobra Speed Venom released in 2018, it seems like many fans, many new fans came to the band.
Yeah.
And it became like a phenomenon between this metal underground scene. But why do you
Mm.
think this happened?
I think it's quite many reasons. Because prior to Cobra Speed Venom, we did two albums that were a bit, I don't know what to say about them. They were a bit different, you might say.
Okay.
But when we started doing the Cobra Speed Venom thing, we sort of realized that we need to go back into the mindset that, because we did two albums where we basically didn't rehearse. There was, files sharing, and we didn't rehearse, and then we recorded it. But it sort of hit us that, fuck, the best albums we've ever done is when we work as a group, and we really wanted that everybody go into the studio. I don't care if you're not recording today, you need to be there, get into the vibe, and record around the clock. And a lot of those things just added into a album that actually sounds very energetic and fresh. And we got a lot of positive feedback of it, and that was excellent to receive, and the people sort of understood what we're trying to achieve there. We really wanted to push it, give the best, and of course the recording, that was so important, because it sort of hit us that a lot of stuff back in the days, when you're working on a song, you get a spontaneous idea. Oh, what do you think of this? And you start adding, and you work as a team, and there was a lot of that in Cobra Speed Venom as well. So yeah, it sounds like we were on fucking fire, to be honest.
And I believe it's even more difficult nowadays to find a band that's truly honest to record all together. I believe this
Yeah,
teamwork is harder due to schedules.
yeah,
Many band members usually have other day jobs, so
yeah,
congratulations for that.
yeah. It was really good, and we sort of continued with that mindset for the next album, Royal Destroyer. For me, they are a bit like sibling albums. They have a lot of same vibe, same mindset, same artwork. A guy did it. I mean, there's a lot of similarities there, I think. So for me, those two belong together in a sense.
Well, Marco, and now let's go back to last year
Yeah,
because your last album recovered the name of Crown of Thorns as a
yeah.
title, which is the original name of the band. And I do want to know what inspired you to go back to revisit this name as part of your history. I find it very interesting to maintain the past as also part of your present.
Yeah. I really felt strongly that, in a sense, we for this Chronothons album, that we would sort of close the circle in a bit. There's quite many details that led to that. One was that I think a year before we worked a bit backwards. I had this idea that let's do the artwork first, because I wanted the artwork, the bridge. What you can see on the artwork is actually a bridge from our hometown, and that's where all Chronothons started. It's of course death metalized with the artwork, but it is based on a bridge, very well known bridge in our hometown. And for me, that reeks my hometown, and I really wanted to include the crown of thorns somewhere. And to be honest, we have discussed for like 15-20 years that we should have a song at least called crown of thorns, but we never got to it. So
Okay.
so this time it felt right to have the album title named it as, so sort of loop in the whole full history. Because there was another aspect that Magnus left the band, so what I understood was that the sort of songwriting would end up mostly in my area. We used to split that, me and Magnus, like 50-50, but now I was sort of left alone. So I really dug deep, and I wanted to include a lot of the elements where we've been, but also push everything forward. So for me, it made complete sense to name it Chronothons, and I'm so proud of it that I even tattooed it on my arm here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that album is yeah, I'm super proud of it.
Excellent. Congratulations once again, Marco. And man, thank you so much for sharing these minutes with me. I really enjoyed talking to you. You're going to love Mexico. People here love that metal.
Yeah, well, we talked about it for, I mean, it's been discussed for most likely 20 years, but it just never got to it. But now we got the logistics cleared and everything. So yeah, fuck yeah, we're coming. So it's gonna be awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.